students, once again a very warm welcome to the English world of Aradhya. Myself Rasmin sir, imparting knowledge of English to the students of 9 to 12 standard in English medium. Students, in my previous video we had already taken the first part of your 6th lesson, which is continuation of the 5th lesson. In that part we had already come to know about the letter of Vanda's father. Vanda's father wrote a small letter informing that they are leaving this city and they are going to some other city, to some other school. Okay, so there nobody would harass them or his children because of the funny names. So when the teacher read that letter, teacher informed the students that now onwards nobody would harass anyone just because their names are funny. What was done, that was done in thoughtlessness, just forget it. But now nobody would do that. So teacher also realized that the way other students were harassing Vanda was wrong. Okay, and almost all the class was quite serious, but it appealed the most to Maddie, because Maddie had started realizing this very early in the 5th lesson only. Many a time she thought that it was not good to continue to harass her in this way, but she did not have the guts to tell Peggy. She had her own fear. Okay, so now Peggy was still trying to justify, but Maddie had a greater impact of this particular letter, and she now wanted to go to meet Vanda before they leave the city. She thought that they may not have gone, still they may be there, so I'll go and say sorry to her. Okay, so from that time onwards we'll see now whether she really goes. Does Peggy accompany her or she goes alone? Do they meet Vanda? All those things we will see now. Students, just pay attention. I am continuing from where we stopped. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness, means pretended informality. Sorry. Okay, informality. Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not. Okay, so that suggestion was also given by Peggy. Okay, Maddie wanted to go very much, but suggestion was given by Peggy. If Maddie had given the suggestion, Peggy may not have got agreed to that. So here the suggestion came from Peggy and Maddie was ready to go. So Peggy had the same idea. What Maddie had, Peggy also had the same idea. Both wanted to go. Maddie glowed. Glowed means Maddie became happy with that. Chalo, I also want to go and meet Vanda and say sorry, and Peggy also now feels like that. Peg was really alright. The two girls hurried out of the building, up the street towards Boggins Heights, the part of the town that wore such a forbidding air on this kind of a November afternoon. So this is that particular time of the year where the air is also very wet, drizzly, damp and dismal. Okay, already the meaning is given. Damp and dismal means wet and sad. Okay, and what is happening over there, Vanda leaving the city, that is also a sad event just because of the harassment of the girls. So the atmosphere also quite matching the situation of Vanda. Okay, well, at least, said Peggy gruffly. Gruffly means roughly. I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. See, I told you in my previous video also, that Peggy always tries to justify herself. Okay, she doesn't feel that she was the main source of trouble for Vanda. Now she says that I never called her a foreigner or make fun of her name. But you did the other way, you harassed her. It is not that by that way only you harassed her. You harassed her by asking the question how many dresses you have. Even though she answered one time, it was okay, no? Then why did you continue to ask it again and again? Okay. But here Peggy is trying to justify herself. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. Now she is taking that situation in some other sense and trying to justify. If she had those dresses, if she didn't have, then why did she go on asking, saying she had 100 dresses? Understood? So Here she says that perhaps she never understood that we were making fun of her. Otherwise, why did she answer all the time when we asked? I thought she was too dumb and gee. Okay, gee is what? An exclamation, students, of surprise. Look how she can draw. Okay, so how you see at her pictures drawn by her, all the different dresses, 100 dresses. Okay, Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her, means they had made fun of her, and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away and everybody would be nice. All these things she wanted to tell Wanda. Now everybody would be nice to you, nobody would make fun of you, and they have identified, they have already realized your talent. Okay, so all will give you enough respect over there. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. Up till now they were only making the fun of Amanda, but now she wanted to tell her that if anybody harasses you in future, we would only fight on your behalf, you don't have to worry. Okay. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. I think that's where the Patron's kids live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up there. Wisp means bits of old grass stuck up there and there along, here and there along the pathway, like thin kittens. Okay, students, then you see the house and its sparse little yard. Sparse means very little, scanty. Okay. Yard looked shabby but clean. So it was unkempt. That yard was not properly maintained, but it was still looking clean. It reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress. So looking at the location of her house gave the idea of her blue dress to Maddie. Okay. Her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. So her dress also was shabby. It was clean, but it was shabby because it was not ironed. So similarly is the surrounding of her house, yard of her house. There was not a sign of life about the house. It means from far they could make out that nobody is there in the house. There was no sign of a life around about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still, there was no answer. So they didn't only just knock at the front door and went away. They went backside also. There was also one more door. There also they knocked, but no answer. Understood? There was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. How could they ever make amends? Okay, make amends means to show that one is sorry by doing something good. So that is there. How they make amends means how they can apologize. माफी मांगना. अब वो चले गए, अब उसकी माफी कैसे मांगे? Understood? They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she's gone now. So what can we do? हम तो माफी मांगने के लिए गए, अब पर वो है ही नहीं तो हम क्या करें? So here it seems that Peggy looks very little bothered about it, or not at all bothered about it. Even if Wanda had met her, I don't think Peggy would have said sorry to her. Okay. Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. So now she is trying to justify her behavior, her making fun of Wanda. Ki whenever I asked her so many times, ki how many dresses you have. And all the time she must have got some idea of drawing a dress. And that's why she drew all those 100 dresses. So because of my asking only, all those thoughts of drawing 100 dresses came to her mind. That is what Peggy says. In that also Peggy wants to take credit. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. अगर ऐसा पूछा नहीं होता तो ये आइडिया उसके दिमाग में नहीं आते, ये आइडिया उसके दिमाग में नहीं आते, तो वो इतने अच्छे ड्रेसेस नहीं ड्रॉ करती, तो वो ड्रॉ नहीं करती तो वो फिर वो कॉन्टेस्ट भी नहीं जीत पाती. तो ये वो कॉन्टेस्ट जीती, उसके लिए क्रेडिट मुझे मिलना चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाट पेगी इज ट्राइंग टू से. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. कि अगर तेरे आइडिया में इतना ही दम था तो तुझे इतना बुरा क्यों लगता है? Why did you come with me? Okay, so Maddie did not respond to that. But that night she could not get to sleep. She tried to sleep but could not get sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in. Okay, and she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. Students, so when you are very much disturbed, your mind will work very much fast. Okay, no thought will allow you to sleep. No thought will allow you to sit quietly. Okay, you will not be composed. So here to become composed again, you will require somebody's help or the solution to your problem. Immediate solution to your problem. So here that is the sort of condition of Maddie. Okay, she tried hard. Now she was doing the deep thinking. This was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. From that thinking, she came to a conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. Okay, earlier what was she doing? First, she was also supporting Peggy when Peggy was harassing Wanda. Then she realized that Peggy is doing wrong, but she did not have guts to tell Peggy that what you are doing is wrong, stop it. So she just stood over there but did not say anything. But now she decided that now onwards, if Peggy or any other girl does like this harassing to any other girl or boy, she would not stand there quietly. She would speak out. She would stop that person to stop harassing. Understood? So that is the conclusion she has come to. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. Yani she will say something whenever anybody harasses anyone else. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up. Okay, students, the harassment can be in different forms. Or in this lesson only we came to know that harassment of Wanda was because of her name. Okay, that Bounce, that boy, he was also arrested because her name was different. His name was totally strange. Okay, so because harassment is done because of the name, harassment is also done because of the appearance, harassment is also done because the people are poor, harassment is also done because they are not good in studies. So students, there are many reasons possible for this sort of harassment. So here Maddie is firm now. If anybody harasses anyone else for whatsoever the reasons, she would not remain quiet. She would speak up. Understood? Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. Okay? कि इसके लिए भले पैगी की फ्रेंडशिप भी टूट जाए, पर अगर उसने देखा पैगी किसी और को ऐसा कर रही है तो वो चुप नहीं रहेगी. Okay, that's what she decided. She had no way of making things right with Wanda because Wanda was not there. Now how could she know where Wanda had gone and how could she reach that another city? So now that's why she is filled with a deep remorse. अभी उसको बहुत गहरा पछतावा हो रहा है कि पहले मैं सपोर्ट करती थी, फिर मैं चुप रहती थी, फिर मैं पैगी को मैं कुछ बोल भी नहीं पाई. चलो वो सब छोड़ो, मैं वैंडा को भी जाके नहीं बोल पाई कि ये हम सिर्फ मजाक कर रहे हैं, दिल पे मत लेना. So that's why she is feeling very much guilty and she is now firm of decision. But from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Okay, that is her decision. Okay, students, on Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Wanda Petronsky. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Wanda she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were. And they asked her if she liked where she was living, and if she liked her new teacher, they had meant to say they were sorry. But it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend, and they signed it with lots of X's for love. They mailed the letter to Bogginsides, writing please forward on the envelope. Understood? So students here, now both the girls, they could not meet Vanda. Finally, they went on writing a letter, and in the letter, they wanted to inform all this. Indirectly, they wanted to tell Vanda that they were sorry for harassing her so much. But finally, when the letter got over, it turned out to be just a friendly letter, and there were the names of many ex students. Okay, and on the envelope, what they had written, please forward. To forward to new address. So those people must have given the new address to the post people. So post people would just transfer that letter to the new address. So that's what written on the envelope. Please forward. We are sending to this address, but these people are not available over there. Then you send it to their new address. So students here, they really wanted to say sorry, especially Maddie, but it turned out to be a friendly letter. So students, we stop over here. In my next video, we will see what happens, whether this letter reaches Vanda, and Vanda in reply, what she does. Okay, Vanda or her father or her brother, her entire family, what sort of reaction they give. All those things, students, we will see in our next session. So till that time, stay fit, stay fine, have a good day. God bless you. Take care. Thank you.